Hi, I'm Dan Gooding, and this is the West Bridgford Wire property market update during the COVID-19 lockdown. Just a very quick update to let you know what's been going on in the West Bridgford property market during lockdown and a couple of predictions for after lockdown. The market just before lockdown was very good. Sales agreed were up 11% on the year before. We'd turned a corner on the election and talk of Brexit, and things were very good and very buoyant, and there was lots of buyer confidence, and for every business it all came at the wrong time, really. We were looking forward to a really good year ahead of us. So during the lockdown, most businesses, like the property market, has just been completely shut down. Obviously no home visits were allowed, so anyone who had agreed a sale and were awaiting on a mortgage valuation or survey, that's just sort of reached a point and stopped. Some sales had got past that point and were ready to exchange and complete, and are simply waiting for lockdown to stop, be allowed out of lockdown or lockdown eased. So restrictions are eased, so removal firms start working again, and home moves are allowed, because essentially all non-essential moves are not allowed at the minute. So we are expecting a lot of properties that are currently in the pipeline of sales. Nationally, there's £85 billion worth of property currently in that sales pipeline, and obviously the government will be desperate to get their hands on that stamp duty money, especially with all the aid they're forking out at the minute. So will property prices drop following this? And there's been a lot in the media about this, and it does feel, sadly, we're talking ourselves into a bit of a recession. I do think that cities may struggle a bit following this. A lot of people have been locked down without any gardens, without any nice spaces to go on walks, and with people working remotely following this lockdown, and therefore not necessarily needing to live in cities next to or near places of work, we might see a real shift in people looking at moving out of cities and to areas like the Midlands. Interestingly, the searches on Rightmove, 51% of people who live in cities looking at Rightmove were looking at properties outside of their city, which is a massive increase, because obviously Rightmove can track where people are living and where they are looking. With regards to prices in West Bridgford, historically we've always seen prices fare very well during turbulent times. It is worth reminding people that do think that house prices will drop dramatically following this, and some publications is 30%, which is a huge drop. But downturns usually happen after large and rapid house price growth, and due to economic reasons, like the banking crisis of 2008. The market was very good going into this lockdown. It wasn't, the economy wasn't broken, and therefore it is possible to bounce back from this and have that V-shaped recovery that you may have heard about. There's also some really good reasons. My father was telling me about the recession of the late 80s, early 90s, when interest rates were over 15%. Our interest rates just dropped from 0.25 to 0.1, and hopefully that will encourage the banks to keep lending. And I think the government will put a bit of pressure on them to do that, to keep lending, to making mortgages accessible. And of course there was chat before the last election about potential stamp duty holidays. So if the government needs to, I think they will do something with stamp duty if they feel that the market is very, very slow. But my prediction for the West Bridgford property market, due to that high level of demand, being such a popular area, I do feel that we will not see any large house price drops. It will be more difficult, of course, and people will be making offers rather than traditionally how they've done it in West Bridgford, where if it's a popular one, people just offer the asking price. So it will be involve a lot more work to sell a property, but I think we'll just see house prices plateau like we have historically, after this period. I think going back to work, of course, it's not going to be like before. There will, of course, be all this social distancing in place for a long time to come, and we won't be able to do block viewings and open days like we have traditionally on properties in West Bridgford. So things will change in that respect, but I do think there will always be demand for properties, and although our offices are closed during lockdown, our phone lines are open, and we are still taking inquiries for people wanting to view properties. I'm still carrying out valuations, although they're desktop valuations, and they can be very accurate with Rightmove, Zoopla, Ordnance Survey maps, and Google Street View and Google Earth and things like that. So we're still able to operate, but obviously we're having to do things remotely. So I will be looking to give another property market update when the lockdown is eased, when the office reopens, and we're back at work. And I'll look at doing that in the first 4 weeks, and that'll be able to give a much clearer indication exactly what those levels of demand are like, what supply's like, are people wanting to still place their property on the market for sales. Certainly on the letting side of our business, we've been busier than ever with the level of demand, and some properties we've got 40 tenants wanting to view. So what we've started doing on a lot of those properties are these virtual tours and allowing people to apply off the back of a video tour. So really good news on the letting side. Sales side, I'm optimistic, and I'll look to give you another update on that side of things in the coming weeks. Stay safe and well, everyone, and I just want to say a very huge thank you to all our NHS workers and key workers who are doing such a great job of looking after us during these difficult times. Thanks very much for watching.